Rather than go through this song and try to memorize every possible right hand fingering, we're just going to play through the whole thing section by section slowly, and you'll have close-ups of both hands to go by. The main thing to pay attention to in this and any other kind of Travis picking song is where whatever the melody notes are, whatever you're going to be doing with these fingers, where that lies rhythmically related to the bass notes, your thumb. All notes are going to happen either at the same time as your bass, like that, or they're going to be offset to it. Sometimes you'll have pull-offs as well, and they'll happen right on the beat or sometimes off the beat. It's always going to be some combination of those things. So with that in mind, let's get into Doc's guitar. The song is in E flat, but we're going to play as if it's in C with a capo on the 3rd fret. The form of the song is there's an intro that is then used as an interlude throughout the song. Otherwise, it's A-A-B-A. So you can think of it as intro, A-A-B-A, interlude, A-A-B-A, so on and so forth. So the chords for the intro are C, A minor, F, played with your thumb, because you're going to need to do hammer-ons and things with that finger. So you really have no choice but to play it with your thumb. And then G7 with my 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the low E, skip the A string, pinky on the 3rd fret of the D string, and then open G and open B. So C, A minor, F, G7. Don't forget, the way you're going to go through it throughout is just keep that bass going. And everything else, you just want to pay close attention to where the notes lie relative, where they lie rhythmically relative to what you're doing with your thumb. Doc Watson only used 1 finger of his right hand in addition to his thumb. Also, Merle Travis did it that way. I used, and many people use, 2 fingers. So I'm going to play through those first chords slowly. This time there'll be a slight variation. So all that happens there is instead of going straight from F to G7 like that, you grab the E string and the B string. And that's it for the intro. So let's get into the A section. The good news about this is the A section happens 3 times, so you only have to memorize it once. So really, we only have 2 more sections to go. The chords for this part are C, F, played with our thumb, C, G7, C, F, G7, C. So the way the melody works, you're going to do a pull-off on the E string and the B string with your pinky. So your finger is holding down a C chord, but you're going to play this melody. And here's how it goes slowly. So here's that first bit. So notice these pull-offs happen, they start before you hit the bass line. Remember what I was talking about in the beginning. So now you're going to grab this F chord And this time you're going to start with your thumb here and your index finger here, and you're going to do a hammer-on the G string at the same time as you hit the bass note. So those two sections together. All right, now right before you go back to that C chord, you're going to hit an open G. So this time, whereas the first time we played this little lick here, we started the pull off before we hit the bass note. This time, it starts on beat 2 at the same time as the bass notes. The first one does, anyway. So far we have. All right, so the next chord is G7, and you're going to start with you're going to pluck an open G at the same time as you're hitting a low G on the 3rd fret with your thumb. So you wind up playing sort of a G9 sound by putting your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. But first you play an open G, like that. So once more from the beginning. Now we play a C the same way we did right at the beginning of the A section. F is the same. This time we go straight to G7 instead of back to C. So that is, you're gonna, on the upbeat, hit a B, open B. Also right there, you can do another hammer onto that 2nd fret of the G string if you want, just as a variation. Right here. Let's go through that whole A section one more time. All right, so you do that twice and you have your AA portion of the song. So now to the bridge. So the chords for the bridge are E to E7 by putting your pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string, A minor, D7, G. Now you want to play a G with these fingers because you need it to be fretted this way in order to play the melody notes that are going to happen. I'm playing this a little differently than Doc Watson does on the original recording. The song's somewhat improvisational, so ideally, you'll do it different every time. From that last A section, I usually hit an open G and just put my fingers down on the chord, but it makes this nice bluesy hammer on here. So that's how we're getting onto that E chord. For this part, I'm doing alternating bass here from E to the D string, A string, D string. You don't have to do it that way. That's just how I do it. My fingers are doing this move. One more time, a little slower. I fret that A minor chord the same way we did the E chord with that little hammer-on move. And then the melody kind of goes. So from the beginning of the bridge. Then we go to a D. Here, I stop the alternating bass and just hit a open D over this move. And then this lick on top. The whole thing is just putting down and lifting up your third finger. So it goes. So. Then to G, I go. So that whole lick is pull off on the E string, pull off on the B string, and then pinky, all this is done with your pinky, then pinky on the third fret of the G string. You get this nice bluesy dissonance here. From the third fret of the G, the next melody note's gonna be the B string. And then a pull off from the second fret of the G string. So that whole lick. Let's go through that whole bridge slowly. After the bridge, you play one more A section. And then you play the intro again, which now we're going to think of as kind of an interlude between the A, with one variation. I go from a C chord, I skip the A minor the fourth time through, to a F, to a G. I play a full F this time, and you'll see why in a second. So I play. Just a way to add something different instead of playing the same thing every time through the song. That whole interlude part will be like this. And then we're back to the top of the song again. And that's pretty much it. After that, we're back at the top of the song. So you can play through it again and with variations. I will show one variation that I do when I go to the G chord in the bridge. Instead of this move, it's nice to do this. That's an example of something you might do. So really slow. So that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe. Thanks.